And I'm going to hit that recording. And Jerry, if you'd like to take it away.
Okay. This is Jerry Shefsick, Chair of the Clark County Art Committee, and calling this meeting to order. What is today? May 12th, 2026 at 3:31 p.m. Okay, having the roll call. I would call your name if you would answer with your full name and here, or Mary?
Here.
That was Mary Sable. Alexia?
Absent.
Alfredo? Alfredo's excused. Heather?
Heather here. Thank you, Jerry.
Ken?
Ken Ruffin here.
Sean?
Sean Russell here.
Thank you. We have a quorum. Moving on to agenda item 2, public comment. This is a period devoted to comments by the general public about items on this agenda. No discussion, action, or vote may be taken on this agenda item. You will be afforded the opportunity to speak on individual public hearing items at the time they are presented, and no action will be taken on any agenda item prior to an opportunity for public comment. If you wish to speak to the board about items within its jurisdiction but not appearing on this agenda, you must wait until the comments by the general public period listed at the end of this agenda. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Please step up to the speaker's podium or make sure your mic is on. And clearly state your name and address, and please spell your last name for the record. If any member of the board wishes to extend the length of a presentation, this will be done by the chairperson or the board by majority vote. Mickey, do we have any?
We did not.
We do not. Okay, thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 3, approval of the agenda for May 12. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Heather, motion to approve.
Thank you, Heather. And then do we have a second?
Ken Ruffin, second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda for May 12. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to agenda item 4, approval of the minutes from April 14, 2026. Again, do we have a motion to approve?
Hi, Heather, motion to approve.
Thank you, Heather. And a second?
Ken Ruffin, second.
Thank you, Ken. We've had a motion to approve and second the minutes for April 14. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving on to agenda item 5. Acknowledgement of committee members' training of Nevada Ethics Commission Ethics Training Program. Are we all completed? Yes. Yes.
We still have a few people.
What's that?
You still have a few board members that do need to complete it. We'll follow up with them this month. Make sure.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. It doesn't take long to do that. All right. Now, moving on to agenda item number 6. Discussion of term limits and applying for art committee. Something we talked about, term limits.
Terry, I think you're looking at an old agenda.
Oh, where are we?
We do have this one. This would be item number 6, is to discuss and accession the arts plan, accession
Okay.
into the arts plan.
All right. This is the one that was with the last week's
Yeah.
email. All right.
And
So
then
we'll
I
discuss.
think there was a follow-up email.
Okay. All right. That's number 6 then?
Yes.
All right. Agenda item 6, to discuss and accession the Arts Plan Permanent Collection, ZAP Spring Valley, located at 5 sites. So I think we need Mickey to inform us on this.
Yep. Actually, Eileen's gonna
Eileen.
do this presentation for us.
Okay. Thank you.
So with the ZAP Spring Mountain closing out, we're very close to completion. We wanted to kind of discuss how we're going to put it into the arts plan permanent collection. Right now, the total count of boxes we have is 68 originally, with 13 total artists, and all the boxes are along Spring Mountain between Decatur and Torrey Pines. When we go to the next slide, please. The next slide again, sorry. Okay, so originally the ZAP Spring Mountain had a budget of 100K, and we were direct selecting 13 local artists to design and paint these 69 originally, but went down to 68 total boxes. Right now, we do have a few artists that have already completed their boxes. We have Kurt Chang, Joyce Guerrero, Troy Agina, and Jazz Lee. They've completed their boxes, but the rest of them are still ongoing on their painting. Oh, can we go back to the slide before this, please? Okay, so, one more, please. No, the other way. All right. So this, oh no.
Is that one you want?
The next one, please. Okay, so we're gonna quickly go over all of the artists that are part of the ZAP Spring Mountain, only because some of their boxes did have incidents in them, and we wanted the board committee members to be aware of them and to also be able to discuss maybe some future solutions for these types of incidents. So our first artist is Chelsea Rust. She has 5 total boxes. She's still in progress. The next slide, please. This is Devin Song. He has a total of 3 boxes. He is also still in progress. He did have 2 incidents where 2 of his boxes were vandalized. They were very minimal, so he was able to fix them. Next slide, please. This is Eric Wang. He had a total of 4 boxes, and he is still in progress of painting. Next one. This is Jazz Lee. She is already complete with all 5 of her boxes. Unfortunately, one of her boxes were painted over. It looks like it was painted over with the same green color for Nevada Energy. So we are assuming that it was some sort of maintenance in the plaza. It was never really confirmed, but that is our only assumption. Next slide, please. This one is Janine DL. She has a total of 4 boxes. She's also in progress of painting her boxes. She did have one incident of one of her boxes being vandalized, also very minimal, so she was able to fix it right away. Next box. This one is Joyce Guerrero. She had a total of 7 boxes and she completed, I want to say, within the first month. So she was one of the first artists to complete all of her boxes with no incidents. The next slide, please. Caleb Velasquez, she has a total of 7 boxes and she's still in progress. This one I forgot to note on here, but she did have one of her very large boxes. The design had an Asian food represented on it. Unfortunately, it had a live pig component on there, and there were some people who gave feedback and asked her not to add it. And so we did ask for permission to leave the pig out of the whole image, and we were approved, so she decided to leave that out. Next slide, please. Kurt Chang is one of the first artists that finished all of his boxes. He had total of 7 boxes. The only incident he had was in the middle of painting the very large box right there in the middle. The box had been opened when he came back the next day, and he said that there was somebody inside the box. So we had to call the water company to come down and check it out. The next slide, please. This is Narciso de la Rosa. He had a total of 5 boxes and he is complete with all of them. Unfortunately, that first box that you see there in blue, it was replaced by Nevada Energy. The reasoning was there was a smaller meter that was installed next to it, but it was very broken and loose. So one of the windier days, it had fallen over onto his box and he had informed us about it. So I reached out to Nevada Energy and I asked them if there's a way that they can remove the meter off of his box. But instead of just removing the meter, they had to replace the whole box, including the concrete pad. So it was a completely different box the next day that he came back to his box. We did try to reach out to Nevada Energy and see if we can retrieve the box. Unfortunately, when they replace these boxes, the old box goes directly to a third-party company who disposes of the boxes. So we weren't able to take the box back. Next slide, please. Sam Granados, she has a total of 5 boxes. Unfortunately, she had to let go of one of her boxes because it was located in a plaza where the plaza manager did not allow us to paint any of the boxes after the fact of contracting these artists. So we had a bit of a struggle there. We just decided to let go of the box. Next slide, please. This is Samir Asnani. He had a total of 5 boxes. Again, he lost 2 of his boxes the same way that Sam Granados did. It is in the same plaza where the plaza manager did not want the Zap boxes on their property, so we had to cut out 2 of his boxes. And then he had a recent incident where his box was vandalized. And then last night he had a confrontation with a citizen. I believe he was drunk and he was threatening our artist, so he had to get out of there. And we're still addressing that issue right now. Next slide, please. Sean Michael Evans, he is in progress right now. He has a total of 6 boxes, but we haven't seen any updates yet. Next slide, please. Troy James Gina, he has completed all 5 of his boxes. He was actually the first artist where we had an incident. The image that you see there with the half done box with the dragon on it, unfortunately, that box and a smaller box of his is also located in that same plaza where the plaza manager did not want Zap on their site. So they had painted over this box right after he had done all of this work already. So we cut our losses and just took those boxes out of the list. So he is down 2 boxes. So the very last thing, our updated outcome as of today, total boxes have been completed, 29 of them. Total boxes in progress right now is 39, and then we lost a total of 7 boxes to either vandalism or somebody painting over them, or just plaza manager not wanting the boxes there. So what we are discussing internally is we would like to request to place the 7 boxes lost with new boxes and new agreements. So the agreements will state that the design for the lost boxes will carry over to the new boxes, and the stipend will only be for half of the total box price. So only the labor of painting will be paid. Boxes to consider will be in the Spring Mountain area still, and mainly public works boxes or boxes which sit on county property, so we won't have any more incidents, or we have a little more control over those boxes.
We want to do that in the next fiscal year because we can't pull any more PRs in this fiscal year. So there is time, couple things. Alexia is on the meeting, so if we can acknowledge that. And then with this agenda item, the main purpose of this agenda item is to bring these boxes into the fold, right? That way we could continue to maintain them. Even though we're still in the progress of some of them, obviously with all of this graffiti issues, because it was funded by economic development and not our program, we need to get them in our program so that we could send our maintenance company to address those things. Good.
So this is Jerry. So any discussion on accessing these boxes at this meeting?
This is Mary Sabo. I moved to a session of the completed boxes.
Very good. Thank you, Mary. Is there a
Alexia,
second?
I will second it.
Thank you, Alexia. Okay, well, we have a motion and a second to accession these boxes to be part of the Arts Plan permanent collection. All in favor of this? And will any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Very good. The collection is growing. Okay. So is this
is
agenda item
probably number
7?
8 in your agenda you're looking at, but number 7.
7. Okay, agenda item number 7, discuss and assess Firehouse 15 mural by artist Amy Soul, curated by Pasonic Artworks. Mickey, could you help us with this?
Yeah. So this project, I may have made a mistake on this one. We did fund 50% of this, so I do think it will just land into our program. But it's great to highlight again. We did do a dedication today at 10 a.m. I say we, but it was District F that put on that dedication. And so we did not send out a promotion to really anyone for that event. they handled it between economic development, their partners in Spring Valley and the fire department. So this work was $8,000 coming from the arts plan and then $8,000 coming from economic development. Amy Soul was the painter, the muralist of this project, and Psionic Artworks were the curators. And it's that just like Eileen's project with the ZAP at Spring Valley, it is in hope to, or it's in conjecture with this economic development or redevelopment agency who has funding to bring back into this area and do certain stuff with it. So Clark County is also doing things like putting in crosswalks in certain areas as well. And then ultimately has an overall plan to adjust that streetscape and really change it over the next 10 to 15 years. But the beauty is public art is immediate. So it's really a nice heavy hitter for us to partner with economic development and do some of these projects with them. But just in case, to cover us, if we want to vote it in, then we're doing okay.
So this could become part of the collection as well?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Are there other firehouses that have, or fire stations that have murals on the doors?
City of Las Vegas has a few of them. There are challenges with it being on the door and concerns about them being hit at some point and or if the door needs to be replaced. So if it does need that, we will look at moving or capturing this art at the very least, right? So either moving those doors someplace else, seeing if we could save them however we can, and or at least digitizing it.
Okay. Do we know of any incidents where fire station doors have been vandalized in the city? Not that
This is Mary. We haven't experienced any with our fire station door murals. We haven't had vandalism. The only issue we've had is there was one at the main downtown fire station, and they just went ahead and painted over it themselves because they just wanted to change it without letting us know. So that kind of sucked. But I think in terms of vandalism, that's a pretty safe location.
I will say on that part, how this piece came about was Paco actually brought to the firefighters there at Station 15 3 different artists. They selected the artists that they wanted. Then they worked with her on the design, and Billy Samuels, the chief of fire for Clark County, was in support. He was there today. He is now interested in more firehouses getting public art. Maybe not on the doors, but he is very interested in it and was thrilled with this. So I think we will have that support. Also in county, I work really closely with Real Property Management. That deputy director was also there today. And so if things are coming across to paint over a mural, a lot of people now know to come to this office first before just going out and doing it, which is nice. But yeah, you can never control the roads.
What is that?
You can never control somebody that's just
Oh,
going
oh.
rogue or for whatever reason hates art. So,
The rogues, yes, the rogues.
yeah.
Well, this is quite ironic that they're going to be like, I'm assuming, a fire-breathing dragon on the fire station doors.
Yeah.
I,
It's true.
I quite like it, actually. Anyway, so we are here to move to accept that into the collection. Is that what we're after?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, the floor is open. To accession the mural on Clark County Fire Station number 15 into the collection of the Clark County Art Collection. Do I have a motion?
Jerry, I'll give you a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve accession. I have a second.
This is Mary. I will second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the accession of the mural by Amy Soul on Clark County Firehouse Station number 15 doors. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay. Now, is this number 8?
Yes.
Okay. Agenda item number 8. We are here to discuss and approve the cancellation of Stadium District Mural in District A for the amount of $112,040 and to allocate the total amount to a new project in District A. So this is to cancel the Stadium District Mural in District A, a proposal to paint on the utility boxes under the overpass and the walls of the overpass that face I-15 and the tailgate area of the stadium. Budget approved for FY24 on 6/30/2023, agenda item number 40. Space planning not required. Okay, that's the cancellation. The 8B is the new projects. The American 250 mural in District A, proposal to celebrate America's 250th anniversary with a mural. Proposed budget $55,049. B, Searchlight Town Board mural in District A. Proposal is to celebrate America's 250th anniversary with a mural that highlights the history of Searchlight, Nevada on the interior wall where the town board meets. Proposed budget $13,823.13. And C, ZAP 21 in District A. Proposal is to paint utility boxes in each park. Parks include Pebble Park, Echo Trail Park, Nevada Trails Park, Silverado Park, Silverado Ranch Park, and Charlie Frias Park, with a proposed budget of $43,167.77. So, do we take these items individually? The cancellation, A. Is that something we move on?
Is this going
Yes.
to be it's not a one motion to cancel and relocate?
That's what it is a one motion.
Okay.
Eileen does have a quick presentation if you all would like to see that. I think she's been over those locations before, but I think it's good if we're asking you to really vote on it, that she goes over it.
Okay. Eileen?
So, like we mentioned earlier, the original proposed project for the Stadium District mural was to do one whole project, one whole mural near the underpass of Allegiant Stadium. Then we moved that over to wanting to do an America 250 themed mural on the Nevada Energy Wall. But instead of just putting all of that budget into one mural, we were proposing to break that $112,000 down to those three projects. So the first project is the America 250 mural. So we are still wanting to utilize that wall for Nevada Energy and also the electrical pole that sits over there in the corner as well. And putting all this together, it's going to cost $55,000. And then the second project we have is the Searchlight Town Hall. So this is all the way in Searchlight, Nevada. They have a town hall there that they've been wanting a mural inside of. So since that is part of District A, we were hoping to do that, not only an America 250 theme, but also highlighting the history of Searchlight itself. And that proposed budget is the $13,000. And then our last project, since District A is technically the next district to have ZAP, we were hoping to do the ZAP 21 in District A. And instead of just focusing on one area, we wanted to break it up into between these 5 parks. Each park has about between 3 to about 10 boxes each, and with a total of 39 boxes altogether. And that budget is going to be $43,167.77 altogether.
With that project, no, it wouldn't have American 250 theme. Eileen, I think that would be,
Oh, yes, that would be just a general ZAP theme, which usually has no theme. We go from inspiration of the environment and the neighborhood.
sorry, I want to edit that, just get it back up for you.
Thank you. That seems like it's a good spread for the funds that were available.
Of course, with the timing of this and timeline, we have not gotten our approvals from Nevada Energy and Water District. So the caveat is we're proposing a budget for all 39 of those boxes plus a contingency. Each one of these projects does have a contingency, by the way, and they are priced at that $1,550 that we had all talked about last time. So we have some of those upgrades that we've talked about. We just can't guarantee that we'll get all 39 boxes that we've asked for, but it's better to have it budgeted than not.
Would this be the second ZAP project for Searchlight?
It won't be, that one isn't considered a ZAP project. That's just a, this
No.
is just a interior wall mural. Kind of
Oh.
like what we did for Overton, where Jig had created a mural at their town board that was the history of Moapa Valley.
Okay, I was looking at the wrong point. So that's the 250 mural in District A.
And then, funny enough, I was talking to Paco today, and Nevada Arts Council is funding a mural downtown for city, and it's for America 250, and they are doing it on a Nevada Energy wall as well. We can compete, Mary. We can see who has the better mural that they.
Well, Any additional discussion on this? Cancellation and the proposal for new projects? Well, hearing none, we move to approve or not this proposal. Do I have a motion?
Hi, this is Alexia. I will move to cancel the Stadium District mural and to allocate the funding for the 3 new projects listed here.
Thank you, Alexia. We have a second?
Ken Ruffin, second.
Thank you. All right, we have a motion to approve the cancellation of Stadium District mural in District A, and to allocate that fund to projects in District A. As listed on our agenda. So all in favor of that motion for cancellation?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right. Agenda item 9, to review and discuss bylaws by Art Committee. The process for amending bylaws and well, what they say and what we are looking or what we're talking about. So, Mickey, your turn.
Oops. Okay, so we had this had came up last month that we should possibly pull up bylaws. Jerry had suggested about timing of how long somebody could be on the board from that 3 years to 4 years. And bear with me, we'll get there. There was also questions that arise with people's first term expiring, with retirement looming. There was a lot of questions going on. So I reached out to our DA and he helped guide me a little bit, and I'm going to help guide you. So the first thing we want to talk about is the process of mending bylaws. It's totally doable. We just have to have it on the agenda for 2 consecutive meetings, and that means that this meeting doesn't count for it because you haven't identified anything that you want to amend right now. So today is just going to be discussion only. I will take all that discussion back to our DA, and I will have him help wordsmith what needs to be in those bylaws, and then bring it back to you the next month, and so on and so forth until it's time for you all to vote. And then we'll need 2/3 of a vote, and then we'll need approval from the Parks and Rec director. And then ultimately your bylaws does go to the Board of County Commission, and I will find out if we could just hold off until May of 2027, or if we'll need to go soon. It's not a big deal either way to do it. So your first item that the DA had recommended was an amendment describing whether a member remains eligible to continue serving following a loss of qualification, including a reference to how many months they are eligible. So this is in reference, the conversation is Jerry's retiring from UNLV. Luckily we get him for a few more months, till August, and how the bylaws are being read right now by our DA. He says, look, we don't have anything in there. You have a reference to if a member no longer resides in Clark County, and then it says resigns, term expired or otherwise vacant, then that person automatically is expired, right? They automatically are off that board. That's that second bullet point up at top. So he's suggesting, he's looked up and he's seen that NRS has a few different items that we could adopt. The confusion I have is they are radically three different NRS statutes. So we will need his guidance on it, but I would like for you all to discuss this today and see where he will need to go with this. So he says, NRS, he found one that says committee members who cease to have a necessary qualification are allowed to continue to serve so long as their remaining term doesn't exceed 24 months. The other one is requires that a member who ceases to have necessary qualifications will immediately lose their position unless the member is in the final 12 months of their term. Or this other one states that the loss of qualification constitutes an immediate vacancy and it is necessary to appoint a replacement for the remainder of the term. So he's suggesting that those are like the three options, and it would be up to the committee to make a choice which one would they prefer to change our bylaws to.
Just a quick question, Mickey. What is the qualification? Is it just tied to employment? Because even if you're retiring, it doesn't mean you lose the expertise that you've gained. You might even be coming from a more valuable position because your time constraints have changed, or you have more active ability to lend support. So I guess I would just ask what the baseline qualification is.
I think that's a good point, and that's one of our discussion items today too, is he was like, look, he goes, you guys don't have very good, well-defined roles. And so he goes on in the case of like a retiree of a faculty member, he states, where's my notes here? He says the bylaws are unclear as to what specifically constitutes faculty. However, the NSHE code defines faculty as professional staff consisting of all persons holding professional positions. Therefore, I do not believe it would be appropriate after one would retire, even if UNLV, like I had suggested, could UNLV chair of the art department say, no, I would like Jerry to continue, we don't see that we're not gonna talk, right? And that's something we did for 1 October. But he said, you just don't have clear bylaws and clear definitions in order to make those choices. So yes, I think that's something to consider, Heather, for sure.
I mean, because you can always put in the language of, if you want to put in the language of retirement in one area, Because essentially it is both broad and specific, which for the most part is exactly what you want. You want your bylaws to give you the most flexibility to make decisions that are best for the organization at that time. And so you have to be broad enough to capture decisions we don't even know we're making yet, and specific enough to make sure everything aligns with your goals. You could include some language about, you know, those that are retired from arts organizations if you wanted to. You could also add or professional that brings value to the organization that's reviewed on a case-by-case basis and voted on by the rest of the board. You could always do something like that too as well. If you want to build in language for a special exception that's more general, and then keep it tied to the arts and give yourself the flexibility to not lose a valuable board member.
A note on retirement. Retirement doesn't mean that much at higher education. Like I'm going to somebody's retirement party on Thursday, I think. Right, Jerry? Are you gonna continue as an emeritus faculty? Jerry, are you gonna get emeritus status?
I have asked that question and I have approval from the chair and the dean that when
So-
the request goes through that they'll approve it. So I
Though
have
you are retiring, you are still faculty.
emeritus, yes.
It is faculty, even if you were retired.
Yes, that's great.
That's a good point.
Problem solved for Jerry, but we should
Well,
fill
anybody
it
who's a
for
faculty.
yeah for the
Of a
future.
certain
I
rank.
think it's a good idea.
I mean, I think given that we have terms, you could go with the first one. It's the most generous. You know, as continued to serve as long as it does not exceed 24 months. I mean, that's essentially 2 years. That's the most generous. Many of us are serving 3-year terms, so that's very much in alignment with terms that we're already facilitating.
I agree. That was my first reaction, is that first NRS option seems to be most flexible for our needs.
Do you feel we had that case with another board member that moved out of state and had wanted to stay on this committee? How do you feel about, you know, in one regards, retirement and wealth of knowledge? I love all of those things. But somebody that has moved out of the community, what do you feel about that?
Doesn't bullet point 2 say that their membership automatically expires?
Correct. That's what it says. But I want to make sure that when we don't, if we add this 24 months, that everyone that will be working on it understands.
You could refer
Well,
back. You could refer back to item number 2 and say, and just use the same language and say, unless someone has moved out of town. If you think of it this way, you only have 7 seats and you want to make sure each person is active in your community, our shared community.
Wasn't there that school board person that like lived in Iowa or something?
Yes.
Wasn't that
And had to move back, right? When school
CCSD thing?
went back
Okay,
in
I don't like.
session.
If you leave Clark County, I don't think you should be on the Clark County Public Arts thing. Okay.
I'm just gonna second Sean's sentiment.
That third.
At least do like our artists and give a grandma's house, right? So
Oh yeah.
we,
Okay.
we have plenty of those. Okay, let me know when you're ready to move on to the next item of this bylaws.
What are we, what's the consensus on this one then? Is
I
to
think,
write,
Mickey, are we giving feedback and then we have 2 sessions to advance anything that's concrete? So say we all felt like we were excited about the 24-month language, we wouldn't set it in motion until the next meeting, and then we'd have a second meeting after that so we'd go through 3 meetings about the bylaws, since they're such a core component of our governance structure.
So I'm
Uh,
thinking, you've had several committee members brought up, so I'm gonna ask the DA to help us formulate something around this 24 months is what I'm gonna call my marching orders, and if people feel otherwise, then next month you'll get to chime in and say, no, I don't like this, right? Okay, so then
all right.
there was also a question about, so based off of these 2 statements in the bylaws, so we have these specifications of who can be on the board, and then you have a term limit of 3 years, and that you could serve 2 consecutive terms. And so he has recommended that we move for amendment describing whether members with redundant qualifications may laterally represent a qualified class of representative following the departure of the current representative. So this is because you have Alfredo terming. He has spent 6 years on this board, and it is time for it to leave us. We also have Alexia, who is an architect, could possibly fill that position, but there isn't a lot of clear language in our bylaws that states whether that could happen, whether her term would change at that point. Would she adopt his term, her term, right? So there are some challenges there that we need to kind of discuss, and then he can come back and formulate something way better for us.
I think I would recommend for consistency that even if you switch the role, the term course you're on stays consistent. If you start moving around the years and the terms and the term limits, the structure starts to erode a little bit because it doesn't have any grounding. And that also makes, what it's meant to do is to protect everyone's time and also to cycle in new members consistently so that the committee continues to grow and have new voices. And so I would recommend keeping the terms consistent, but the titles can easily change. Your title of where you fit and what your role is, that can be flexible. People in the arts have a million jobs. We all wear so many hats. And so that makes complete sense that we may work in one place and be in another and still be in the arts, but I would stay grounded in the years and the term limits of what your original term is set out.
A second, Heather.
I agree. Sounds very reasonable.
Okay, perfect. And then he didn't necessarily say I did have him take a look at this today before I'm presenting it to you, but we didn't get a chance to talk about it, so. But his response to all my questions, a few weeks ago, one of the consistent things he kept on saying is, you need better defined roles. So I look at these roles and I said, well, I see definitions here, but I think he wants more robust definitions. I would like to hear from you all and see where you're at with it. And then obviously he has brought this up. Maybe he has some feedback for us that he could put in wordsmith.
I mean, I would say on both boards I govern, we know in our minds who's doing fundraising, who's doing who's got a CPA and is doing finance, who's our treasurer, who's our secretary. But I don't know that this board is set up. Do you have, so I don't know if he means structure like president or two presidents. I have a co-president structure on both my boards, and it works out really well to have a shared leadership. Is he suggesting you do president or co-presidents, vice president or vice chair, secretary, treasurer? Is he looking for specificity in having specific officers?
No, it was specifically these positions like, you know, in the faculty case, he says you don't have really great definitions. So what is that? That's when he went into faculty definition as professional staff. Professional staff equals holding professional positions. So he couldn't ascertain that in retirement that would be a thing. He also talked about questioning the architecture. So it says professional architect or landscape architect. And he says, I'm not sure it is entirely accurate to interpret the qualifications required by the bylaws as establishing specific qualification positions. He says, e.g. that Alfredo holds the architect position. It would be true to say that the requirement and architect be represented on the board would be fulfilled by appointing someone on that specific basis. So, yeah,
I wonder, maybe he could give a couple examples, because a professional architect or landscape architect is doing exactly that. It's requiring that that position is held by some, and same with the faculty, it's a requirement. I just wonder what we're missing.
Yeah, I think so. To not delay the already long thing that is happening with having to go so many times, I will ask him to propose something, and then that way you guys could deliberate that, you can make adjustments to it, you could say then, no, we want it back, and I think it would still be fine. Okay, and then we have one last one, which was the original one that was brought up, which is to discuss term limits. So the current term limit right now is 3 years. You can do 2 consecutive terms, so 6 years in total, and then you have to be off for at least 1 term. One term would be 3 years.
Well, that was the question I brought up about term limits, and it was just a question to get opinions and thoughts. I wasn't advocating for one or the other. If 3 years is sufficient, if 4 years might be of benefit, which if you went for 2, that's 8 years on the committee. Is that too long? That, like I said, it wasn't to advocate for one or the other. It's just curious.
Staff have zero recommendation either way. So, yeah, I mean, it truly is, you all are in these positions. What is your commitment level? Do you want to spend your time with us?
Do legislative sessions have anything to do with it? Like, would it be a benefit to have 2 legislative sessions within each person's thing?
I don't see this, it's a great question. I don't see this committee going to legislation about much of anything. I think that would be more geared to somebody on Nevada Arts Council or
Like your
through the
funding doesn't
university
dramatically
system.
change or something? Okay,
No, your
That's all.
funding, your
I get-
funding and your ordinance is all right through Clark County.
oh, okay.
It is just a reminder to everyone. So the funding comes from hotel room taxes, and then ad valorem taxes, capital improvement taxes within Clark County. So it's coming from county housing taxes.
Well, it's not too controversial, so we'll just leave it as is.
That sounds good, Jerry.
Okay. On to agenda item 10, a report by staff regarding monthly summary of activities. Staff.
So we have quite a few open calls out right now. We have Poet Laureate that'll end May 25th. If you know of any poets, please send them our way. If people have questions, they could reach out. Ariel works on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're happy to help people navigate that application system. And then also Solo Series is out for its next run of cohorts. That deadline is going to be July 12th. And we are looking for 4 artists to do Solo Series at Pearson. And then I'll let Lauren talk about youth.
Yeah, we have the open call for the Youth Education Temporary Public Art Projects. That is a program where we will hire 8 artists for fall and spring, and they'll be given $3,000 and training to do 2 workshops at 2 different community centers and create a public sculpture at those community centers, integrating the work that they do at the workshops. So it's a training program and a scholarship and a $3,000 art commission. So it's a great program for people who are trying to bridge into the public art world, who are trying to get into making public art, and especially people who are new to 3-dimensional public work and are trying to go from 2-dimensional to 3-dimensional. So it's a consider it a program where we're training the artists on how to fabricate work and how to lead workshops. So the deadline is June 1st. We'll be promoting it on different avenues, but if you can promote to your networks and share with artists you think would be great for this program. Last year we had 30 submissions, so we're hoping for a good number of submissions this year. And yeah.
Thank you. And then with Poet Laureate, so Miss Avey is continuing to be Poet Laureate through September. And she is going to plenty of events. She also came to our ZAP 20 anniversary. And she just recently did a Channel 3 News interview for Poetry on the Patio. Speaking of Poetry on the Patio, we had 25 attendees. We compensated Miss Avey, A.A. Monet, and Denise Brute. And the rest of the artists were all open mic. So people signed up and read. We served mocktails. It was a great event. So we're looking to maybe expand that programming and kind of travel that around to our different community centers. And then we have our Inkwell that is happening each month at the end of the month. And so you have Jamie McCarty is going to be on that online workshop this month.
For Full Scope this month, we will be doing an in-person workshop. We're inviting attendees to come to Winchester Dondero Cultural Center this Friday at 10 a.m. to witness the installation of the new pieces that's going into into Winchester Cultural Center by Lamond. So it will start outdoors. We will watch the installation happen. And then after the installation, we will move the workshop indoors inside Winchester. And Nicholas Synott from Lamond Studio will be doing a quick presentation as to how they go from idea to fabrication and then to installation for these temporary sculptures.
For the youth education program, we just had our reception on May 7th. We had 17 attendees, which is the most we've had for this program. Up on display right now, we've got several, we've got the group exhibition happening at Winchester Dondero that's up through May 30th. And then we also have up in Searchlight, we have Megan Dragons Together in Bloom. And then I think that's it that's up right now.
All right, and then at Pearson Gallery, we have Denise's reception coming up. That's going to be on May 21st. We are partnering with a Filipino restaurant to do small bites. And we are going to have a Filipino performer, a musician at that reception. So if people are available, please come see Denise at Pearson Community Center. I believe it's let's see if I can read it from it is it's 5:30 to 7:30 is that reception. We had just closed on our Juneteenth art call. If I remember correctly, there was 26 applicants. And Brett Holmes is during that exhibit. And hopefully in the next couple days, he will be able to tell us who's showing for that one. Katie's here.
Hi. Yeah, so we just recently had Bridges of Belonging that was on May 1st. This show was curated or juried by Jose Rosas. It was a really, really great, really fun night. It happened again Friday, May 1st from 5 to 8. The images you see sort of showcase the different performances that happened. Lots of dancing, lots of art, really great food, music performances. And we had about 150 attendees, so that was a really great night. And then down at the bottom, you see Expressions of Clark County, America 250. That's what's coming up next. That is being juried by A.B. Wilkinson and Nuwu Art. We had about 38 applicants total, and they will be getting determined pretty much this week. And then that will be opening June 8th with a reception on July 16th, also at the Rotunda Gallery.
For the Wetlands Gallery, we currently have in the Nest Gallery, Angela Caballero Fields, her solo show has a reception on the 16th, which is the end of this week. And then they also have another show that just opened called Song Unbound Fourth for the 4th annual Plein Air Invitational. And that also has a reception the same day as the Nest Gallery.
And then marketing insights. So our April to May on Facebook, we had 1,888 followers. We had 12,000 views and 1,200 interactions. On Instagram, this past month, we had 70,000 views, 4,500 interactions, and we're still hovering at that 5,300 followers. On our newsletter, our art calls, we are at 1,800, almost 1,900 artists that are following that, with a 41% open rate when we send out that monthly email. And then our events, we have 2,000 followers with a 39% open rate. So this is our conservation, and Eileen will go over a good portion of these.
For the ZAP monthly maintenance this month, American Graffiti Inc. recorded and removed 11 tags on boxes in the Las Vegas Valley area for the month of April. During FY26, Public Art has identified 8 boxes that are no longer maintainable due to repeated vandalism and graffiti removal, causing paint damage, fading from weathering, and compromised protective coat. All boxes identified are past their 5-year maintenance requirement as stated in our ZAP contract and have been set for decommission. Boxes will be painted over by American Graffiti Inc. using approved Public Works colors.
That's the image of the 5 boxes.
For the Campley bathroom mural, we do have a PO for Brenda. She is currently working on the painting right now. I believe we still have her estimated completion for the end of May. She is still on track. And for the Reach piece, we are still seeking general contractors to maintain the sculpture itself. They will be cleaning up the sculpture and then repainting those images onto there. And then for the Day of the Dead mosaic mural, we have artist Sierra Slants. She is just awaiting her first installation payment. And once she receives that, she will begin working on the mosaic. She has projected 4 to 8 weeks of work, and then she should be completed before June, the end of June. The Aku Aku interpretive sign, right now, we are trying to schedule Hamilton Blake to proceed with the clearing of the trees and foliage on the island so the Aku Aku sculpture can be seen better. And they have connected with Nevada Preservation, Nevada Conservation in order to get those plaques fabricated as soon as possible. And we are hoping to get that installed by the end of June. With the Wanna Place sculpture, the last thing that we heard from the artists is that they have been having some personal issues, so they have been a little bit delayed. They have confirmed with us that they will begin again tomorrow, the 13th. And then with the Octos theme, we are still waiting for the artist to complete their traffic control plan. I believe that's all we're waiting for, and then he will be sending us some quotes on how much the budget will be to repair this piece. And then with the Winchester Skate Park, we have discussed with RPM to see how we can proceed into getting the skate park back to Winchester. They didn't have any specifics on how to do that, so we did ask permission if we can reach out to a third vendor to do the maintenance, to redo the grounds and repaint and all that good stuff. We are looking into using a product called Street Ice. So we are trying to connect with them at the moment, and we're going to see how much that's going to cost us.
Then we have community engagement projects.
So for the stencil art project, we do have the 5 finalists. We are vendoring them as of right now. We didn't quite get our company, our vinyl company in their PR on a timely manner. So this is going to be delayed a little bit. Once we have our selected artists vendored, they will go into a little bit of a hiatus until we can get that vinyl company PR'd, and then we can connect the artists to the vinyl companies to create the stencils.
On the America 250 history utility boxes, I met with the historian in graphics on the 7th. We had a good intro meeting, and hopefully next week our graphics designer will be showing us 2 different designs. We'll start once we can make a selection on which design to move forward. Then she can really kind of plug and play to get those all lined up. It's going to be 3 banners, 9 utility boxes, and a website for that. So that's
So with the Spring Mountain Youth Camp Empowerment Art, there has been a little bit of an update. We did get a confirmation from Kelly from Spring Mountain Youth Camp saying that they want to stay with the vinyl instead of printing it on banners. So we have asked the vinyl company to reprint the 5 vinyls for the cabins, and then they have their installation company. They're going to go back and reinstall them, but this time with wooden moldings as a frame for each one. So we will have to extend this project since we weren't able to put in an extension for their extra stipend for this fiscal year. This will bleed into fiscal year 27. But once that is taken care of, and then we can install the vinyl outside in the Connex box at the same time, then the project can be closed.
The A's Elephant temporary sculpture, I'll go to LRP tomorrow. The company has since said, you know, we've heard your issues with vandalism out in a baseball park. The suggestion was to like add fence around the elephant, certain things that just seemed kind of wild for a temporary public art piece. So they decided not to go with the Desert Breeze Baseball Park at all. They are still planning on putting a smaller, life-size youth elephant at the government center in the cafeteria. And I am awaiting some conversations with the A's reps on where is it that they would like another elephant, or if they're just going to work with other partners. One of the challenges with Clark County permits is because the pieces are so large, they cannot get away with not permitting. And the people that are kind of running this this project, they don't have engineered drawings for these elephants. And so when they contacted, I imagine Duty or whoever is representing him, his response was, well, we put it in a bunch of cities in America. I'm sure it's fine. And so that's kind of where we're left at. So I don't know that they will pursue any Clark County facility based off of the requirement of permitting. Now the reason why we can put it at the government center is the Clark County Government Center is on City of Las Vegas's jurisdiction. So I ran through City of Las Vegas Arts and Culture with Laura. Laura reached out to her permitting, and permitting said, yeah, it's not a big deal. You're putting it in your facility and you're not anchoring it. There's no reason for you to have a permit. But with these elephants outside, they would have had to be anchored, and that story may have changed.
The Parkdale Hispanic Heritage mural is currently at a standstill. The center has decided to buy a brand new Connex box in replacement of the old one that the artist has begun painting, because it was in a very poor condition. So now we're waiting for the new Connex box to arrive. But we did also inform the artist that we will be giving him extra stipend for the loss of materials and labor and time that he already put in the original box. The Wetlands Annual Temporary Art Exhibit is still up. It's still ongoing, and it will be up until May 15th, which is this weekend. And then with the Wetlands Park Artist in Residence program, we have Autumn and Eric finishing up their residency. Their final artwork will be delivered by May 31st, the end of this month.
Look, here's our list of projects.
For the Lamont Temporary Play Art, Harmonies is still on display at Pearson Community Center, and that will be up until this Friday, which this Friday we will be getting our last set of installations from Lamont, and that is called Maestro. 2 will be installed at the Boulevard Mall, and another 2 will be installed at the Winchester Cultural Center. Those will be on display from May 15th through June 30th. The 4 musicians were chosen to provide the music for each of the installations, and each musician was given a stipend of $500. We do have press events for each installation. The first one is scheduled for the Boulevard Mall this Friday, at 1 p.m. And then the next one will be on the 21st at the Winchester at 3 p.m.
And then on the musicians, because the Le Mans budget was $100,000 that was contracted to Le Mans. Same thing like we did with Isaac from Recycled Propaganda. That whole $2,000 will actually be moved over to community engagement, and you'll see that kind of plopped into that budget rather than hitting this budget.
ZAB 18, currently we have one artist finished with his boxes. We are still awaiting 2 more artists to finish. We have started a conversation of having a dedication for this ZAB, and we are just having a little bit of a delay due to the weather, but it should be done by the end of this month.
We got a tagging on one of these too. One of the artists got hit. So it happens everywhere.
The Juvenile Justice Service mural is currently at a standstill as well. We have a jury put together. We're still finalizing some project details, but we're trying not to juggle too many projects at one time. So this is just kind of on a slow pace at the moment. And then with the Walnut Recreation Center playground mural, this is coming along nicely. He has actually finished with the painting now, and he will be getting ready to put the anti-graffiti coating on. So this should be completed by the end of this month.
And then, as you know, with Desert Breeze, thank you for your vote last month. And so we are just at a standstill with this project until we can take our arts plan to the Board of County Commission. Our graphic designer has been working on that arts plan all month. And we are hopefully getting closer to finishing it. But I think it's too soon to tell what that timeline is.
So with Aquatic Springs installation, this is sitting just beside the other project right now. It is sitting in the research phase. But once fiscal year is over and we have all of our project details put together, we will see a little more progress on these projects. For the Desert Flow at Southwest Ridge Bicycle Skills Park, we had a jury meeting on April 30th to discuss the submissions. We did identify the top 3 scored applicants. Those top 3 scored applicants have been contacted, and we will be proceeding to the next step of the project, which is a pre-project brief meeting, and that is scheduled in the next 2 weeks. And then with the Red Rock Legacy Trail Cyclist Sculpture, the top 3 finalists are currently creating their project briefs right now, so they should be reaching out and doing their community engagements. We do have the design presentation locked in for the West Career and Technical Academy on June 18th from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. This is where our jurors will be evaluating each of the applicant's design proposal. This is open for the public only during their presentations. After the presentations, we do have to kick the public out and have our jurors discuss the presentations.
Then Sunset Signature, I'll go to long range planning tomorrow to get that final approval needed. And then we can start negotiating with the artists, and I'll be excited to finally be able to share with you after what's it been 9 months, the winning design for this project.
The Wetlands Monument sculpture right now is stuck in permitting. he is having a little bit of issues getting that completely approved. So once that's approved and he confirms that with us, we can proceed with the next step of the sculpture.
They're basically saying, right, Eileen, that they're saying a design professional has to stamp all of the pages, and he had provided pages without his engineer's stamp, correct?
That's correct. So he was just missing a few signatures on some of the pages.
So I think at first, the thought was that it had to be an architect, but I think we've since cleared that up, correct?
Yes, that's correct. And ZAP 20 is finally completed. We had the ZAP 20th anniversary on April 24th. Thank you for everyone who made it and celebrated all of our ZAP artists. It was a beautiful event. We had Commissioner Gibson go up on stage and say a few words about the ZAP program and the ZAP artists. So it was amazing. We had a few vendors come through. We had DJs and other things like live painting. Yeah, it was a great time. And now ZAP 20 is over and we can close that out and we can get going to our ZAP 21.
That is it for our report.
This is Jerry. That's a lot going on. Wow. A lot. Kudos to you and everybody to keep on task, on track. Really. I did have one question. There was boxes that have reached their 5-year life expectancy. Do they get thrown back into the mix for additional ZAP treatment?
So no, that's what he's asking for is on the conservation is to just completely remove them. So these 5 boxes, I don't think he identified where, but
I see one of them's at UNLV.
yes, one of them's UNLV. Actually, 2 of them, because I see Aldolfo's piece here, the second to top. Looks like Desert Breeze. ZAP 10 over by Walnut. I don't remember the smiley faces, but the bicycles in the background's over in Whitney.
Okay.
So typically, we looked at removing them when like he says there, when they've been hit a lot by graffiti, then it might have served its purpose, and let's give it back to the water district to let them kind of deal with it, and we
Okay.
move on to bigger and better public art projects.
Okay. I was just curious. Thank you.
At times we do, if it's under the 5 years though, Jerry, we do contract with the artist to fix it, and or if it's something minimally, Brett will go out there and repaint it and get it fixed up. So it just depends.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Agenda item 11, is that where we are?
Yes.
Okay, we are identify emerging issues by the committee at future meetings. Comments made during this portion of the agenda by individual members shall refer solely to proposals for future agenda items, and any discussion shall be limited to whether such proposed items shall be placed on a future agenda. No discussion regarding the substance of any such proposed topic shall occur, and no action shall be taken. So does any of the committee want to have a suggestion rather? This is something that we might need or want to discuss? Okay, hearing none, moving on to agenda item 12. Comments by
I'll
the
say
general,
for 12, there's no attendees.
no attendees. Okay, then agenda item 13, our next meeting will be Tuesday, June 9th, 2026 at 11:30 p.m. And agenda item 14, we stand adjourned. Thank you. Thank you very much. See you all. You're all invited Thursday, the 14th, 11 o'clock at the Donna Beam Gallery. There's some sort of soiree going on.
You aren't gonna fit them all.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know. That's their problem. I just provide the venue.
Where the heck do I park at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday or a Thursday?